Okay, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Sal Gilberto. I'm a marketing manager here at Nixle, whose parent company is Everbridge. I'd like to welcome everybody to today's webinar. We're going to be discussing a new product feature for Nixle. Thank you again for taking the time to discover this. We're very much looking forward to sharing this with you. So I want to go over a couple of logistical items. We will be recording today's session. So if you are looking to share today's content with any of your colleagues or you need to review it in the future, we will give you the chance to do that. We will record it and we'll try to send this out to you tomorrow or early next week to make sure that you have access. The other thing I just wanted to mention is we do want today's session to be both informative and interactive. So we will allow for questions to be asked over the course of the webinar. You can do so in the GoToWebinar questions panel. We'll probably save those questions till the end. So if you want to keep on submitting those throughout, we'll gather them and then try to get as many answered as possible. We do anticipate today's webinar is going to be about half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on how much interaction we get. With that, I'd like to introduce our speakers today. So you're going to be hearing from Brian Yim, the account executive, as well as Paul Zach, the sales director. So Brian and Paul, how are you guys doing today?
Great, Sal. Great. Thank you.
Great, Brian. And how are you, Paul?
I forgot to unmute myself. I'm doing good, Sal. I'm doing good, thanks.
Perfect. Glad you're still with us. All right, awesome.
Off to a stellar start.
Yeah. With that, I'm going to give you guys the presentation, and we will begin with the content. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Sal. Hold on a sec. Sal, did you give me the presentation or just the presenter status?
I gave you the presenter status. So, 1 second. If you'd like, I can give you. Sorry, if you want, I can advance the slides for you if that'll be easier.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let me do that. Let me bring my slides back up. And here we go. All right, we're on.
I don't think you see slides yet.
Sorry, everybody, we're running into some technical difficulties. Let me make sure my screen is being shared. Show my screen. Sorry about that.
Okay, we're good now.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
All right. After all that, sorry for the delay, guys. Like Sal mentioned, my name is Brian Yim. I work with quite a few of the different agencies in the Mid-Atlantic, primarily municipal agencies, PDs, FDs, OEMs, and it's been my pleasure to work with these agencies for about 3.5 years now. Just a quick agenda for what we're going to cover today. We're going to start off with just a handful of use cases and successes that Nixle has had in the field. We really want to highlight 1 or 2 of the agencies that have done a really stellar job utilizing the Nixle system, and then we'll really get into kind of why you're all on the phone today. This demonstration of the new mobile publishing app, what we have dubbed EngageBridge. And then following that, we'll actually get into the meat and potatoes of the app itself. We'll show you how to send out a few messages. It's very dynamic, very cool. I think you're going to be very excited for this new functionality that will be added to your repertoire. Then we'll actually talk about really the salient details. When will it be available, who will be able to have access to it, and we will be looking for beta testers as well. So we'll definitely give you the opportunity to raise your hand and say, you know what, we've been waiting for this for a long time. We want to help you guys make sure that this application works out really well. And at the very tail end, for those of you on this webinar, definitely a thank you for attending. There will be a presentation, a promotion that's attached to this. So we'll definitely get into that. We're very excited to get this particular feature and product out into the field as quickly as possible. and we're always looking for as much help as possible. And then at the very tail end, we'll definitely leave a few minutes for some Q&A. Like Sal mentioned, I think we're only looking at about 30 minutes, so we'll definitely get you, back to your normal day job as soon as possible. But hopefully you find this presentation very informative. So let's get going on this. So like I mentioned, what we're going to do is we're going to start off on just a few examples of how Nixle's been used in the field in the past few months. The first one we want to highlight is San Angelo, Texas. I know a lot of agencies that I come across in my day-to-day, they always ask me, who are some agencies that I should kind of mimic? What are they doing? I would encourage everyone on this call to look up San Angelo, Texas. Tracy Gonzalez and her team down there have done a stellar job utilizing the system. Here's a message that they pushed out very recently. Looks like that date stamp is May 2nd, just a missing autistic child. San Angelo has done a great job utilizing the system, not just for those critical situations, but also for the day-to-day, to the tune of about 12,000 subscribers. They have about 15% of their population following them or subscribe to them on Nixle. So I would encourage all of you guys to go check them out, do a quick Nixle search of San Angelo. But back on point, what they did with this particular situation, they put the message out there almost immediately. This works in conjunction, of course, with Amber Alerts. A lot of law enforcement agencies rely on the Amber Alert. Certain agencies want to get the message out there a little earlier. They don't wait for all 4 of the criteria to be met in order to activate an Amber Alert. They believe that as soon as a child goes missing, it is a emergency situation, so they quickly utilize the Nixle system. And if we can advance to the next slide, they were able to find a resolution very quickly by building up that really strong database. 15% of their residents are now on the Nixle system. They were able to send out the message, and a Good Samaritan, a resident of San Angelo, saw the message, and as it shows in the next slide, in the press release after they found the child, a mother got the message and actually started driving around the area that the child went missing. So just right around the school, took her son, drove around the school, and they were able to locate the missing child. And as you can see in the press release, this wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for Nixle. So these are just kind of the little stories that we want to share with you. This is going to be more and more commonplace. We want to share the successes that other law enforcement agencies have with you, the rest of our customer base. This one obviously is a very critical situation, a missing child situation. Some of the other examples we'll give are definitely situations that come across your plate, your desk every day. But we definitely wanted to highlight some of those agencies that have done our system, and San Angelo is one of them.
Thanks, Brian. So Novato California is actually quite similar to San Angelo in that if you just write down that name, Novato California, type in Novato Nixle into a browser at your leisure, and you will see, again, a stellar use of Nixle for the balance of different messages that they provide to kind of keep their residents informed and interested, rather than constantly just pushing out, let's say, traffic advisories or most wanted posters or something like that. Novato is a great municipality, and I got a little story here. I've told this before. Some of you may have heard this. It was about maybe a month and a half ago. I was having dinner with my girlfriend in San Francisco. She lives in Novato. I get this text: Novato fire, house fire on Manzano Court. Not a whole lot of details, but then you could click on that little link there and it'll take you to more information about this. Go ahead and next slide, please, Sal. And I turned to her and my girlfriend and go, do you live near Manzano Court? She goes, no, I don't, but I know where that is. And she said, why? So I gave her my phone. She clicked on the link and she gets this particular message. And if you could hit Sal the button a couple times, and you'll see that it comes from the Novato Fire District. So it's branded the fire district, so you know who it's coming from. You can see the message is very short, very concise. We looked on the back end. We saw it actually came from a mobile phone. So you can see this as an example of how municipalities are using it in the field. Obviously, there's not a lot of information here, but they wanted to get the word out quickly and efficiently. She took that. She saw that her eyes got big. She got a lot of friends that live around that area. She forwarded that text messages to her friends. I looked at came in the office the next day, and I found that there was about 25, 28 new opt-ins in that one night alone. Because of her, probably not, but because of other people that are looking for alerts as to what was going on. So another great use of Novato as an entity, but then also for this particular emergency situation from the field using a mobile capability. So again, great case story, Novato. Take a look at it on Google when you get a chance. Next slide, Sal.
All right. This next one I think definitely has immediate application for what we're dealing with today. I'm willing to bet that a vast majority of the people on this webinar right now, they use Nixle in a similar vein to what you see right here from Clayton County Sheriff's Office down in Georgia. Something very straightforward like a traffic accident, MV situation at Terra Boulevard. This was a situation, another one where we went in afterwards in retrospect, and this is a good message. How was it sent out? And it looks like it was sent out from a mobile device. But really, this is the type of, this is like the bread and butter message that we're looking to make it even more efficient for you guys to push out these types of messages. So instead of having to jump back into your computer or opening up the laptop in the SWAT car, you'll be able to go ahead and just from your mobile device craft the message very quickly and easily and send it out. And we wanted to show you kind of the after effects of this as well. Too infrequently do we see these really great thank you notes, right? These thank you notes are directly drawn from Facebook. Clayton County has their Nixle account hooked up to their Facebook page, so they were able to simultaneously post this message, the traffic accident at Terra Boulevard, on Nixle, on the Nixle wire, directly sent out via SMS and email, as well as posting it to their Facebook wall. And just look at how quickly they were able to get 5 responses, just thank yous, thanks. These are the type of things that we really like to see, right? This is stuff that makes the agencies, your agencies, look good in the eyes of the residents you serve. So we definitely wanted to share this one, and we'll our example as the example that we'll kind of craft our demonstration around as we get to that portion of the conversation today. Next slide, please.
And I'll mention on that one, Brian, is I created that slide. We didn't pick 5 notes from a laundry list of 100 different messages from residents. There were only 6 messages that came after that particular post, and I got 5 of them in there. The 6th one was in a language I didn't quite comprehend, so I cut that one out. But 5 out of 6 of saying thanks to that particular public agency for doing the job that they did. That is why we call this more times than not a community engagement solution, community relations system versus an emergency notification system, because you're building that rapport with your residents. This one here is Ripley County, Indiana. This was a couple of months ago. The next 3 slides is about this particular situation. This one obviously didn't come from a mobile application. You can see that message is pretty long, but someone came in through the web portal and posted this particular message about an escaped inmate. And one reason why I wanted to showcase this one is because over the last couple of months, we've been getting more and more interest, not just from Sheriff's Department, not just from police departments, city mayors, but a lot of Department of Corrections, a lot of prison systems, because they want to keep in contact with the neighborhoods around their particular facility just as much as anybody else. So they posted this message. Next slide, Sal. And sure enough, within a couple of hours, they had caught the individual, and the news story came out, and the press release came out, and it was posted in the Herald Tribune that Nixle was responsible for getting the word out, for looking for this particular escaped convict, and the person was recaptured. Next slide, Sal. And you can see here, actually, the chronology of the posts on Nixle. The one in the middle there is one day 7 hours ago. This is from the time I screen captured it. And you could see the next one is 1 day, 1 hour ago. It took 6 hours to get that message out for the citizens to look around and for it to capture that particular individual. So that is a great success story in an increasing market that we're seeing more and more with Everbridge and Nixle, the Department of Corrections. Next slide, Sal.
So this is an interesting slide. I'm not sure if anyone on the webinar frequently checks the website officer.com, but today one of the front page articles on officer.com was pertaining to LSSEs, large-scale security events, and I thought it tied in really well. It's a great article. I encourage you all to go check it out. But more and more agencies have to grapple with this concept of large-scale security events. There's obviously major pros. It brings, municipal unity, pride to your city, to show it off, pride to your county. but just the crowd control aspect of, major events is very problematic. And during those situations, if there is some sort of situation around a large-scale security event, it very well may be that the only access you have to send out Nixle messages will be your mobile device. So we thought it kind of all tied together, but even in advance of getting that message out there, just getting the participants in the event, your visitors for the marathon, your residents who are going to be at the July 4th festivities. You have a Memorial Day parade coming up in a few weeks, and downtown will be shut down for 3 blocks. How are we getting people to sign up for your Nixle system for those particular events? One of the things that we've had a great deal of success with is this concept of keywords and creating a very short keyword that pertains to that event, and then working in parallel with your city communications team, the city PIO, to get that keyword out there. Right there at the top left, at the forefront, this concept was used to great success by the San Francisco Office of Mercy Management for Super Bowl City, and we created the keyword in conjunction with them, SB50. For that particular event, lots of visitors coming from Charlotte, from Carolina, from Denver, and when they got here, they were able to very quickly and easily get information about the event they were attending by simply texting SB50 to 888-777. So loads of other examples that you see here. If this is something that is of particular interest to you, you do have some sort of large-scale municipal event like a July 4th celebration, fireworks, anything around Labor Day, I'd encourage you to reach out to your account manager, your account executive. We can definitely help you get lined up with a keyword. Next slide, please, Sal. And this is the interface that you're familiar with. So what we wanted to do was show you kind of how we took this interface and we made it into a very easy to use mobile app. So this is what you're familiar with today. This is kind of the real benefit of using the Nixle system. I'm very sure that you're all familiar with it. You jump into the system, you go to the message center, a few clicks, you'll have the message set up, and then you can craft the message and then send it out. So very straightforward, very easy, and very trainable as well, because very frequently you'd have not just the chief and the lieutenant who use the system, but all the way down to the dispatchers who have lots of things on their computer screens, and you want to be able to craft a message very quickly and easily and be able to send it out. So this is where we are today, and Sal, if you don't mind flipping over the screen to me now, I'll go ahead and share with you, share with everybody kind of what the vision is moving forward. All right, bear with me for 1 second. All right, can everybody, or Paul, can you see my my app?
Yes,
all right,
sir.
Fantastic. So welcome everybody to the Nixle Engage Bridge mobile publishing app. So this is just an app that I have on my my iPhone. I open it up, and there are 2 quick ways to send out messages to the residents, and then there's a separate way to send out messages internally. So if you notice here at the bottom of the screen, I think you can still see my mouse. We have public messages and private messages. Let's start off with private messages because the public messages give you 2 options. On the private message side, I tapped private message here at the bottom, and now the process is I choose what channels I want to send the message through first. So first, what channels? Is it going to be SMS, email, or voice, or all of the above? Let's say I just want to send a quick text message because we have a situation taking place at 221B Baker Street. So I would choose the icon of the SMS, hit next, and then I get dropped into the window where I'd actually craft the message. So all hands to 221B Baker Street. Bonus points for anybody who can put into the questions what 221B Baker Street's from. Now moving on, that's the message that we're going to go ahead and send off. So the process after you craft the message is you simply go to the top right and you hit next. Now you can choose who you want to send it to. So these are private groups that you've built ahead of time that you can go ahead and target. Once I target the proper group, the operations group, I'm ready to preview the message and send it off. So really, really straightforward and really easy to use. All right, let's cycle back and let's take a look at the public message. All right, so that first go through was private messages. If you wanted to activate the detail, a SWAT team, a SWAT call out, activate additional patrol officers, that would all take place under private messages. public messages are going to be the messages that you send out to your residents. Now, with public messages, there's actually two types of messages, an advanced message and a quick message. Let's start off with the quick message. Nixle's been around now for quite a bit. I believe we're around 8 years now. So during those 8 years, we've compiled a lot of data. So we know the most frequently used message type is an advisory, and the most frequently used message channel is text message. So what our developers did was we wanted to give you a very quick and easy way to simply send out a text message to your Nixle wire. So that's what this quick message capability is. This is going to be fixed. Every time you want to send out just a standard advisory to your Nixle wire via only text message, what you're going to do is you're going to choose quick message. So simply select quick message, and then you can write your message. You can do something like police activity at 2nd and Howard. Once you finish writing the message, you come up here to the top right, you hit send, and you're done. That's how quickly and easily you'll be able to send out a text message to your Nixle wire. But there will be situations where you want to go into a little more detail. For instance, if it's an alert and you want to cover additional channels, not just text message. If that's the case, you're going to go ahead and tap the advanced message. So the advanced message is a little more familiar to many of you. It's kind of your normal interface where you do have the option of choosing alert, advisory, or community. As you can see, the color changes, so you are very familiar with the colored schemes that we have here at Nixle as well. So let's say we wanted to send out an alert because there's police activity at 2nd and Howard. You simply tap the alert. The color changes, so you know you're on the alert level now. And then you come down and you select which channels you want to push the message through. We have text, we have email, we have voice, and we have social media. In this particular instance, my agency doesn't have social media configured, so I can't send the message out to those particular channels at this time. But if you wanted to send out messages to the other 3 channels, you'd simply tap them. As you can see here, I've enabled voice as well. As you all know, with alert messages in Nixle, you must send out a text and email message every time you send out an alert message. So let's go ahead and deselect voice, and let's continue through and send out an alert message via SMS and email. So you simply select the icons, you go next. Since it's an alert, you have to choose kind of a few categories. So in this case, we could do security, and we'll say there is police activity. The severity level, the urgency level, and the certainty level, and these are all standard fields that you fill out anytime you send out a Nixle message, as you all know. And then, of course, cap instructions. And we can do something like avoid area. All right. So now we're back to a similar process to where you were with the quick message. First, you'll have a window for your SMS message. So we can do something like police activity at 2nd and Howard. Avoid area. So something simple like that. I like it when autocorrect works in my favor. And then we go ahead and go to next, and then we'll queue up the next modality or channel that you want, and that's email. So this is where you would write your email message. So you can do something similar, police activity in the title of the email, and then in the body of the email you can do the rest of your message. Avoid 2nd and Howard area. You do have the ability to include an incident location, just like you can within the web interface. If you want to include an image, you can do that as well here. Once you're prepared with your email, you simply click next, and then you can go ahead and determine who you want to send it to. So if you do have public groups built out, you can go ahead and target public groups. So I have a handful of neighborhood groups that I've built out for this particular event. Or if I simply want to target the Nixle wire, we could do that as well. And if you want to target a specific area, we give you that capability as well. So, more enhanced geographical targeting is also compatible with this particular modality and this particular feature. If you're looking to just target the Nixle wire, you simply go to Nixle wire and then you preview the message. We give you a window to preview everything that's going on in this particular message, just like you do within the web interface. And then you're ready to send the message right off. So that's how the Nixle Engage Bridge app works. Pretty straightforward. The one thing we really like about it is, from a lot of the feedback that we receive from our agencies who've been, talking to us about this, we really like the quick message capability because you'd be able to very quickly and easily send out a message, and that's really helpful for a lot of those patrol officers that are sending out a lot of messages around traffic accidents. We encourage you to throw some questions into the question box, but I believe that's everything I have for the actual demonstration, Sal, so feel free to take back the control and we can advance to the next slide.
Sure, give me 1 second.
Thanks, Brian. That was a great, clear, concise demo. It's a pretty simple capability, simple app. I think everybody probably got a pretty good idea of how powerful this could be. I think Nixle is already, when we talk to a lot of agencies that haven't used Nixle before, maybe they've used something else, that is probably far and away the biggest thing that they come away with is this is a lot easier than what I was doing before. This is going to save me some time, some frustration. Maybe like my dispatch, only sends out a message once every 2 months, and they don't want to be scratching their heads reminding themselves how to send something out. So having a tool like this, like Nixle, is one of our biggest value propositions, and I think that the MO, that culture, that style continues in the mobile app. So easy to get out a message, especially if you do that quick message. I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of the logistics of how are we going to get mobile publishing app on your phone. So general availability is in August 2016, so a couple of months away. Engage Bridge will be available for all of our Nixle Engage customers, our Nixle 360 customers, and 360 is basically Engage plus those who also require a reverse 911 capability, and as well as our freemium customers with an upgrade to Engage or 360. So unfortunately, this is not available for freemium customers, but if you're looking to engage or if you're looking to upgrade, we can definitely have that conversation and get you this mobile publishing app as well. We are going to have a beta available, a beta version of this available in June. Select customers who we'd like to test, use this on a limited scale, maybe 50, 60, 70 different customers across North America. So one of the things that I wanted to ask of those individuals today on the line is if you are interested in helping us beta it in June, send me an email. And my email address is there at the bottom of that particular web page. There's also available, again, if there's a freemium customer that wishes to take part in this beta program, reach out to me as well, reach out to us, and let's talk about potentially getting you upgraded up into Engage or 360, and you'll be able to have access to this beta version as well. That's pretty much it for that. Next slide, Sal. And with that, specifically for those freemium customers, we have a little bit of a promotion to, if you're looking to potentially get a hold of this app and you want to upgrade to Engage or 360, and we know that a lot of people's budgets are coming up June, July, then we want to give you a little bit of incentive, a little bit of help to put this into your budget. One is you'll have, as I said earlier, access to the Engage Bridge beta application, and then 2 is with a 1-year subscription, we're going to throw in 2 free months as well. So you basically get 14 months for the price of 2. So that might make it a little bit easier to do that upgrade, go through that procurement process in the next month or so. I know everyone's fiscal years are starting, well, not everybody, but most people's fiscal years are starting in July, so this might be just the perfect timing. So that is it for me, or actually that's it for the set presentation. We'll take questions now. Sal, love to have you read any questions we did get. I see that Scott Benoit has actually joined us from high above Utah, probably. He must be on airlines with free internet access. So I don't know if you probably can't do voice, but maybe if there's a question that Brian and I can't answer, who knows, maybe Scott Benoit will be able to answer them in the little chat window for us. Scott Benoit is behind the design of Engage Bridge, so he knows, he's the master of all answers. So Sal, got any questions for us?
Sure. Great presentation, guys. We do have a number of questions that have come in. Just a little feedback that's come in. The client success stories, people were very impressed with. People really did appreciate that. No answers on the Baker Street reference. So Brian, if you want to maybe do the big reveal.
That is the home address of Sherlock Holmes.
Ooh.
Yeah, 221B Baker Street, guys. Sorry, no, I'm done.
Little trivia, little trivia. So one question that came in, I know we just went over this, but when does this new app go live? What is the availability, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. So general availability in August 2016, and then the beta is available, the beta application that we will be providing to a limited set of customers. That will be available in mid-June 2016. So just about a month away, in fact, probably a little shy of a month.
Perfect. So one question that came in is just do a quick rehash of all the different apps that are sort of available from Nixle and Everbridge, just to alleviate any confusion.
Okay, so on the Nixle side, we have Engage Bridge, which will be the app for agencies to send out messages. There is OneBridge, which is across both Nixle and Everbridge. That's where a resident can sign up to receive messages from a whole assortment of public safety agencies. Those are really the two big ones that we interact with the most. And then there are a handful of other apps that are applicable on the Everbridge side. Did you want us to get into that, all those apps as well, Sal, or do you think we can leave it at Engage Bridge and OneBridge?
I think that's fair. That and the other ones are Everbridge related, so I think that should be okay.
Yeah, and the one thing I might add to that OneBridge description is not only is it yet another channel for the agency to get a message to the resident, but then it also allows the residents to communicate amongst themselves. So, for example, if an agency were to launch a message to, let's say, Novato, City of Novato, a particular neighborhood in Novato, and it's about whatever, let's say, coffee with a cop, or a particular crime wave, then the individuals can also start communicating amongst themselves. So it's almost like Facebook, maybe for a particular neighborhood or an area, and it also has that direct conduit for law enforcement or city officials to communicate with their residents. So very, very, very powerful.
Perfect. And by the way, so I do hear our audience that said that they did know that was Sherlock Holmes, but did not chime in via the chat. So I don't want to rob credit from you. So kudos to those who did know the silent answers.
Nice.
One quick question just to clear this up. So if you Nixle 360 subscribers, is there an additional cost to the app?
If you are a paid Nixle Engage, Nixle 360 customer, or are looking to be one, then Engage Bridge is absolutely free. No price for access to the app, and no fee to actually download the app to the individual cell phones of your city officials, officers, so on and so forth. So no additional price.
Question on, I know we went over this really quickly, but just what are the login procedures for the new app?
I can handle it. You want to actually flip it back over to me, Sal?
Will do. 1 second.
Let me make sure I have this spun up again properly. Show my screen. Bear with me for 1 second while I power this back up. AirPlay, Brian. So, naturally, right now the app does not the app, but my computer doesn't want to work. Simply, it's a normal login. You would use your normal credentials, so it's an app on your desktop of your mobile device. You simply tap the app, and it'll ask for your normal login credentials from your existing agency.nixle.com account. So it's just a normal login window.
Okay. Does the app also send to Twitter? Is Twitter available?
Yes, Twitter and Facebook are both available.
Okay. So that was a couple people were asking about Twitter. Let me read this one, make sure I understand it. Can you customize the quick message to maybe add Twitter, which I think we did, or change the group?
Not at this time. We try to make this as applicable to as many agencies as possible. We will take that into consideration. I know Scott's on the call right now. So maybe in the future, that could be something where you can work it in your own settings to change your quick message. But at this time, the quick message is set for advisory, Nixle Wire, and text message.
Perfect. A couple other questions that I think just to a reminder to everyone that we will be recording today's session. We will be emailing out the recording of the presentation, so if you do need that, and with that recording, if you do need to ask sort of any pricing questions, don't want to get too much into that on this conversation, but we can save those. Does the online agency, here's another question, does the online agency user panel allow the ability to restrict the ability to use EngageBridge?
Oh, that's a good question. Paul, do you have that answer?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you read that question again, Sal?
Sure, no problem. Does the online agency or user panel allow the ability to restrict the ability to use EngageBridge?
Oh, wow, that is a good question. That is a Scott Benoit question. I do not have that. If that individual would be willing to provide their email address there in the chat window, I'd be happy to research that and get an answer back to that particular individual. I'm watching my chat window. I don't see Scott replying, so he's probably watching a movie on the airplane. But I'll get to that individual.
Perfect. No, we got them. So we will be getting back to Jeff with that information shortly. So thank you for that question, Jeff.
Sal, if you want to flip it over to me, I got the my screen share working. I can really quickly show the login process.
You got it. There we go.
So now we should be back on my my mobile device. The home page here at the top right is EngageBridge. So you simply tap it, and here is just your normal login. So in this particular case, if I wanted to log into my account, I would just put in, actually it's Scott's account, so we won't actually do it to show everybody, but it's just the normal process, the normal agency.nixle.com login. So that's what it looks like.
Perfect. So I think that we've gotten through most of the other questions. Ooh, here's an interesting one. Can you fingerprint for an Apple 6 phone? I guess I'm assuming for the login.
Wow, great question. I don't believe so, but again, that's a Scott Benoit question. Definitely submit your email address, and I'll get you an answer on that one.
Okay, perfect. So that was the last question. That was a great question. Thank you. So that's it.
It was.
If you want to send that over, if not, we can get your. Oh, perfect. So we have those two. So we'll get back to you on those. Looks like we addressed all the questions that were sent in. So. So thank you guys for previewing this new functionality. I think the audience was very excited to get their hands on this, and it was great to talk to you. And thank you to everybody who attended. Everybody have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, Sal, and thank you everyone for joining. Talk soon.